Good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
How are you? So I would like to begin the program by first and foremost, I would like to begin the program by thanking everyone for joining us today, even those who just heard about the program. We truly appreciate you. Um, this is a special program, and this is the first in the series. We are using this program to actually launch our programs for marking the America at 250. On July 4th, 2026, America will celebrate the most important milestone in the country's history. That's 250 years of American independence. According to the President of the United States, he said, with a single sheet of parchment and 56 signatures, America began the greatest political journey in human history, said President Trump on this momentous anniversary. We'll be running series of programs on a variety of areas, and we would like to use this as a launching pad. And as you can see on your screen, today we are launching stories that connect us. And these are book discussion programs. This is just one out of several programs we are going to be planning. And these stories that connect us are going to be picked from books because it's book discussion. And these book discussions are going to be taken from our eLibraryUSA. So for those of you who have not connected with us on that level, you have not signed up for remote access to eLibraryUSA, this is another opportunity for you to do so. Just reach out to your director in your location and they will tell you how to get this done. Without much ado, today we are discussing one of the best, books out there. It was published in 1700 by Benjamin Franklin. Can you imagine that? And the title of the book is The Way to Wealth. And today we are privileged to have our dear Professor Chidimma Egenti, who happens to be our distinguished professor at the Department of Linguistics, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Today, she's going to be discussing the book, and as she does that, we're going to go into practical session, and we'll be dealing with the core messages that are in this book. But before we start, I would like to read Professor Mata Chidimma's bio. She's a professor of linguistics in the Department of Linguistics, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, with lecturing, academic advising, community service, and administrative experience. She has worked in various capacities, imparting knowledge and promoting academic excellence. She's also the Deputy Director of Awka Window on America since 2021, where she coordinates American Spaces programs for young people. As part of her academic leadership, Professor Mata has served in many editorial boards and has attended several national and international conferences and workshops across the globe. You can see that she's well-traveled. Her areas of interest include semantics, text, so corpus linguistics, psycholinguistics, applied linguistics, child language literacy, and migration studies. She's a member of several professional bodies, including the Linguistics Association of Nigeria, LAN, West African Linguistics Society, WALS, and World Congress of African Linguistics, WOCAL, as well as Igbo Language Studies, ISA, in the United States. Please put your hands together as we welcome our dear professor who will be leading and facilitating our session. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof, for that wonderful introduction. So today we are going to be looking at the discussion on the way to wealth. It's a book written by Benjamin Franklin, a timeless book of wisdom that is a kind of blueprint for success. And this book was written, originally published in 1758. The short essays captures the essence of Franklin's pragmatic approach to his personal finances and success. And he presented it using the fictional voice of Paul Richard. So if you read the text, you will be seeing Paul Richard making countless wise sayings. The book is replete with a lot of wise sayings. So today we are going to be looking at the key points that he raised in that essay. And we have a worksheet with you that you are going to also be using for your own personal development. Also with me here, we have some professors that will be sharing maybe one or two, just a brief point with regard to experience, with regard to some of these points. This program is 1 hour, it's not going to exceed 1 hour. But it's good to hear from experienced people so that it will help you in your own future career. So we have Professor Chike Okoye. Okoye is a renowned erudite professor, a Humboldt scholar, and is well-read and traveled. So we welcome him. We also welcome Associate Professor Ifeoma Odinye. She's also a great scholar that is well-traveled. We also welcome Dr. Onyeka Oscar. Oscar Ebekue is a Queen Elizabeth scholar from theater arts, while Professor Okoye and Professor Odinye are from English literature. So at some point in the discussion, they will share just one or two experiences with regard to the key points in this particular discussion. So we'll go straight away into the discussion. If you look at some of the text, if you read it, you find out that Franklin work is a treasure trove kind of aphorism and proverbs that have stood in the test of time, in the sense that the aphorism that we use today, like time is money, a lot of people use it. It is what he wrote in, like I said, 1758. So he has a lot of that aphorism and wise saying that we are going to be looking at. And then Prof is going to guide us through the workbook. I'm sure you have a copy with you already. So each point we discuss, you are going to be jotting down your resolution and what you want to be doing going forward after this presentation. Now, one of the key points he raised there is the value of time. The value of time. And in the course of the discussion, he mentioned that time is money. Of course, we all know, we are all familiar with this particular saying. Time is what? Money. What does it mean by that? What he meant is that, you can't afford to waste your time, because any time that is lost can never be what? Recovered. Do you understand? So time keeps moving endlessly. That's why at each point in time, you are advised to do what? Invest in time. Every minute of your time should count. You should have a schedule for every day, your everyday schedule, your to-do list schedule, what you'll be doing every day, so that you don't while away your time doing frivolous things that will not add to your own personal growth and development. So we are going to the action step is what are you going to do to ensure that you use your time very well? What are the things are you supposed to do? Okay, so we have three important tasks there. Three important tasks. Okay, if you look at that worksheet, I don't know if all the participants from the various windows have this worksheet, but from here we have given them to our participants here. Now the first thing on the worksheet is what? Look at it. Okay. Value time. Okay. Now the reflection question there is, how do I currently spend most of my day? Which two activities waste my time the most? Can you scribble something there? Because at the end of the day, you will be given opportunity to talk. So what are those two activities that waste your time the most? Note it down, okay? It will guide you on how you spend your time. Okay, that is for the value of time. Now,
Professor, can
yes,
I
Prof.
project it? Because I don't think others have it. Can I project it
Oh,
from here?
okay. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I've done so.
Okay, good. So if you look at that, what you have in your hand, you will see that the first question there is, how do I currently spend most of my day? It's a reflective question. So reflect and write it, and then also write which two activities waste your time the most. Also note that. It will guide you on your action plan. So just note that we are going to come back to all these later in the discussion. Now, the second point he raised is hard work. Hard work. We all know that it's very important you work hard, and you cannot overemphasize the place of what? Hard work in every sphere of your life. And if you look at the aphorism there, the saying there, he said, no pain, no what? No gain. I'm sure you're also familiar with this particular saying. No pain, no gain. Of course, nothing good comes easy. You have heard of that a couple of times. Nothing good comes easy. If you look at if you listen to successful people, you will see that they have really worked very hard. They have burned the midnight candle to be able to get to where they are today. So there is pain. There is no way you can escape that. There is pain before you gain. Is that okay? So for you to do that, you need a lot of effort and persistence. A lot of effort. You have to be intentional about it. Otherwise, you'll not be able to achieve it. You have a lot of distractions here and there. But because of that intentionality, okay, and that persistence to do what? To succeed, that will propel you to do what? To keep moving in spite of the pain. Are you there? Okay, now, and it's also important to know that laziness is not an option. You can't afford to be sleeping when you are supposed to be doing something meaningful. Maybe learning a skill on YouTube. Do you understand? Taking a course on Coursera or Udemy. Are you there? So laziness is simply not an option, because according to the test, it said laziness does what? Leads to what? Poverty. It leads to poverty. So now the reflection question there is, what skill, hustle, or project do I need to dedicate more effort to? I'm sure a lot of us have one or two things we want to do. Maybe you want to learn a skill, a graphic skill, how to design, or you want to learn how to brand your skills, that is branding or marketing, online marketing. There's something you want to, or maybe how to do freelancing. There are a lot of things maybe you want to do. Do you understand? So the question is, what skill, hustle, or project do I need to dedicate more effort to? So you need to now, let's say you have 1, 2, 3, 4 skills you have mapped out for yourself to learn in a year or in a month. I follow me, or in the period of 6 months. So what you need to do is to prioritize them. I want to learn graphic first, and then I'll go to maybe learn digital marketing. So that, and then with these 2 skills, do you understand? You are now equipped to learn more skills that you can now market yourself online. So you prioritize the skill you feel is most important to you, and then you start learning that skill. Is that okay? Now, if you look at that question, the action plan in your test, the first one is, what skill, hustle, or project do I need to dedicate more effort to? So you have to itemize the skills you are interested in, or the ones you are currently running. Prioritize the one you want to learn first. And then you will now say, this week, now the action plan is, this week, I'll work at least how many hours? How many hours are you going to put into learning the skills? Because one thing about skill building is that you need to keep learning it. Are you following me? Let's say you want to learn how to design. It's not just a one-off thing. You need to, continue learning it, practice. That is, practice is a key word. You need to keep practicing until you become what? Perfect. Until you become perfect. So prioritize that and write it. Okay, I want to dedicate maybe 3 hours a day or 4 hours a day to learning these skills. You find out that in the period of 3 months, you have really learned that skill, if you really dedicate some hours to that particular skill. So write that down, okay? You have the dash there. I will spend less time, this week I'll work at least dash hours a day on the particular skill that you want to learn. Now, the third point he raised in the essay is live simply. That is, he touched on finances, how to manage your finances, because it's very key in your growth, personal growth, even in business. It's very, very important, because if you spend everything that comes to you, then there is a problem. Okay. Now he said, beware of what? Little expensive. What does it mean? He's frowning at frugality. Frugality is waste. Waste in the sense that you have 10 naira today. Instead of thinking of maybe this 10 naira can pay for a skill for you, but you prefer to use it to buy maybe shoe or bag or makeup. Are you following me? So which one is more valuable? Skill. Learning a skill, right? So it is very important to learn the skill, because that skill will now give you money for you. If you buy bag or shoe, there is this picture I saw somewhere on Facebook where you have very spoiled, started shoe, and then you have a goat placed side by side, and then the person asks, which one will you choose if you are asked to choose? Which one? Which one will you choose? A goat. Why? A goat is because you can sell it and get more money and multiply it and get more goats, and before you know it, you have a what? You have a farm, a big farm. Is it exactly? So you can see that with regard to expenses, it's very important. He mentioned that you delay what we call gratification. Delay gratification means you want that enjoyment to come later, not before. Are you following me? That's why you see a lot of rich people, they dress very simply. Simple, very simple. No, it's not that they don't have money. Do you understand? They are building, you need to, at your stage, if you want to build capital, there are some expenses you don't need to be involved in. You don't need to make such expenses until you have built your brand to a point that now you have SSs. Do you understand? That is not even part of your capital. Do you understand? From there, you can afford to take a little from it and do whatever you want to do. Okay, so this particular point is trying to encourage what? Saving, right? Because from his saying there, it says small leaks sink big ships. You know what that means? Small leaks. Like if you puncture a ship, gradually water will be trickling in, isn't it? And before you know it, it will sink. So that is a very, very typical saying to summarize what he meant by beware of little expenses. Okay, so saving is very, very important. So you don't live your life to impress others. That this person bought shoes, wearing designers, it's not your problem. Are you following me? You saw this person, oh, this person is wearing these clothes, you want to get it anyhow. I mean, it's not going to help you. People who live such life, if you see their end, you will know that they usually do not end well. Okay, so you live your life not to impress anybody. Do you understand? So look at the reflection question there. What does it say? What are my top 3 money leaks? Things I waste money on. You see, you are smiling. I can see you are smiling because I know you waste a lot of money on frivolous things. So note those things, those 3 top. I know you have so many of them, but just note 3, just 3 that usually take your money. And then let's see the action plan, how you are going to work towards cutting down on those unnecessary expenses so that it can help you to save. All right. Yeah, let's go to the 4th point. The 4th point borders on what? Borrowing, debt. There are people who live on debt. Debt is not bad in the real sense of the word. Okay, that is loan. Okay, but if you take it to do something very valuable, very reasonable, it's encouraged. But if you borrow, maybe you are a salary earner, you are earning 10 naira. Are you following me? Somebody will bring goods, shoe, for instance, or bag, or something, and you just buy, as in you indulge in impulsive spending. Do you understand? At the end of the day, when the salary comes, you find out that you are owing. The money will go back to what? To your debt. And then you are left with what? Nothing. So that's what is trying to tell us, that a borrower is usually a slave to the what? Lender. Because as if you'll be working for the lender.
250.
So it's very important that we don't indulge in borrowing. It's rather advisable to do what? Invest. I remember when I finished my service, my youth service, I had to buy the money that I got. I was able to save from youth service. I used it to buy shares. I invested. Then, can you imagine? You understand? So I invested and that money multiplied. Okay? So is encouraged. You are encouraged not to indulge in debt. Avoid that pleasure at that moment because it's pleasure. That impulsive spend, you want to enjoy that thing at the moment. That is what is leading you into that debt. And you should avoid debt so that you won't be a slave to your lender. Now, look at the reflection question there. Do I currently owe anyone money? How does it affect me? And some people, some borrowers, they will get to a point that they will lose their what? Reputation and what? Credibility. Even the lender will be chasing them about to pay. they won't want to pay. We have a lot of people like that because they are trapped in a financial situation that they cannot take care of their debts and then the responsibility that is around them. So it's very important to avoid too much borrowing where it's not necessary. So ask yourself, do I currently owe anyone money? How does it affect me? How does it affect you? Now the action plan. What is the action plan there? So you can put in fill in the slot there. If you pay off, and then what do you do next? It's very important. So we have to speed up so that we can meet to the time. Now the next one is what? Practice. Practice self-discipline. Practice self what? Discipline. You know you cannot succeed if you are not disciplined. You agree with me? Because it takes a lot of discipline to work hard. Do you understand? That time you want to use to, you know, your body will be telling you, why not just leave this thing? It's not important. Discipline will tell you that you need to get this work done. Are you there? You need to get this work done. You feel like sleeping, not that you are sick or you are tired, you just feel like lazing around. Do you understand? But if you have self-discipline, you know that you have a lot to accomplish and then you follow it up. So self-discipline has to do with having the ability to do what? Conquer your passions, right? To be able to control your desires. Are you there? If you feel like sleeping, you said, no, I have tasks to accomplish. You go and do that. Are you following me? Then if you want to, you feel like eating shawarma, for instance, it's not that you are hungry. It's not that you know, you just feel like eating. It's habits you have formed. Then you keep buying shawarma all the time. For maybe the little business you are doing, and then you are eating your profit, using it to buy shawarma. Are you following me? But if you have that self-discipline, you know that you control that passion and delay the gratification. Are you there? You delay that. You tell, is this shawarma? Answer, is this shawarma really necessary now? Do you understand? And you know it is eating into your profit. You try to curtail that and control that desire. Say no, I won't do that. Okay? If you want to, you feel like sleeping, you say no, I'm not going to sleep now. Or you feel like pressing your phone, because these days you spend almost your whole day pressing phones. And then at the end of the day, you ask yourself, what have I achieved today? Do you understand? There is something about this social media. Once you are there, you just be there. You lose count of time. So that is that for self-discipline. You need to really practice self-discipline so that you can control your passions very well. Now, let's look at the inflection question there. Can you note one habit or desire that you need to control better? I know we all have one habit or desire. Write it down. Note it. Some of you are not writing. Note it down. And then, what is the action plan? What are you going to do about it? Also note it down. Instead of sleeping, what will you do? Okay, instead of maybe pressing phone, what will you do? In that phone, you can decide to use, instead of going on TikTok or Facebook, you can decide to go to YouTube and learn free skills there. Do you understand? So note it down. These things or quotes or aphorism are here to help us to build our personal and professional life so that we can grow and achieve success, right? So note that you are going to tell us what you noted at the end of this discussion. So we have time for that. Now, the next point is consistency. Consistency. You know, you cannot achieve a lot if you are not consistent. Let's say you are learning a skill. If you are not consistent in doing that, will you be able to be perfect in that? No. If you ask all these social media influencers, they will tell you consistency is key. You keep posting. Are you following me? For you to gather that audience. And then you start monetizing, you start paying you. So consistency. Anything you want to do, you have to be what? Consistent in doing that. Because, I mean, success comes with consistency. You have to be consistent with whatever you are doing. You don't do today and then tomorrow you go and rest. You keep doing it, keep doing it. After a long period of time, you will start seeing the benefit of that, your consistency. So consistency beats talent. You can have somebody that doesn't maybe have a very good voice, but the person keeps training every day. Or someone that cannot play guitar very well. You see the person keep training every day. And then when the person plays after a long period of time, you'll be like, wow, what happened? Do you understand? What happened? What did you do differently? It's just consistency. Okay? And then the quote, little strokes fell great oaks. Little stroke, like if you are cutting down a tree. You know, you don't just cut it at one hit. You keep hitting it consistently until you're able to get to the last strand and it will fall. Okay? So consistency is very, very important. Success comes with what? From small daily habits. Those little things you have developed, okay, over time. Okay? I know of a student that started learning how to blow this Igbo flute. Okay? Today, she's a professional and she's in public. She travels all over the places to blow the flute. She started small and she was consistent about it. And today she is what? A professional. Attracting what? You know, invitation from everywhere to come and present. So consistency is very, very key to success. Okay? Now, let's look at the questions. What positive habit do I want to build daily? Write it down. What positive habit do you want to build daily? Like every day, what do you want to see yourself doing? Note it. And then the action plan. I will commit to doing so every day for the next 7 days. If you do these things, follow these things the way we have written it, you find out that you have very tremendous improvement in the way you live your life, and then the achievements you'll be able to attain at the end of the day. So now, the next point is integrity. Building your what? Integrity. We've also heard of the best saying, honesty is the what? Best policy. Unfortunately, in our world today, we have a lot of dishonesty. People don't tell themselves the truth. They don't even tell others the truth. Okay? But if you are honest to yourself, you understand, knowing that, see, I'm not doing this thing well. I need to change. Definitely change will happen. Do you understand? The same thing if you take it to the wider society. If everybody is honest to themselves and then to their neighbors, you find that the world will be it's a better place to be in. So integrity is very, very important. It's something that you work on. Something you have to be intentional about. Otherwise, you'll not be able to achieve that. They say the good name is better than what? Riches. Have you heard of that saying? Yeah. And you've had people telling their friend that, I mean, I cannot, you see this person, I trust her with my whole life. If it's the kind of maybe trust the person has built over the years, and then somebody can say, I can vouch for this person. So if somebody cannot say, I can vouch for you, then there is something somewhere wrong somewhere, and you have to work on that. You have to work on that. So honesty is very, very important in our dealings. Okay, that small thing you are doing, be honest about it. That small office, maybe after school, after graduation, you don't know when it will pay you. That is the truth. You don't know when it will pay you at the end, in the long run. And it's something you need to be doing. That is something that should be part of you. You understand? So that anybody can really smell that aura around you. Okay? All right. The reflective question there is, when have I struggled to keep my word? A lot of us will say A, I mean B. You're not being honest. Okay? You say A, I mean B. Either to yourself or to others. Because you can actually be dishonest to yourself. So, note when you have struggled to keep your word, and then the action plan. What will you do about it? Starting from this week. How are you going to build that trust? How are you going to tell yourself, going forward, this is what I'll be doing? Okay? Going forward, this is how I'm going to relate with people. Are you following me? It's a decision you have to make, and then be intentional about it. Guys, you keep working on it. Do you understand? Until it becomes part of you. Okay? Trust is built. It's not just, you don't get it overnight. You build it gradually. All right, we are coming to the last point, which is investing in knowledge. If you ask successful people, they will tell you, be open to knowledge. Keep relearning, unlearning and relearn. Are you following me? There are things that you know that maybe over time, they are no longer in line with in touch with reality. You change. I feel you unlearn it to learn what you are supposed to know at that point in time. So invest in you need to read. We cannot overemphasize that. Now that we're in the era of AI, do you understand? We do a lot of trainings here. We train people on how to use AI responsibly. We also, the eLibraryUSA, we have a lot of inspirational tests, ebooks that you can't find in the market. We have a lot of them in the, how have you availed yourself that opportunity? Because the opportunity that we didn't have during our time, and you have it, you can access it from home. Are you following me? Okay, so be open to knowledge, be hungry for knowledge. Because what you have invested is what you eat that you want from it, isn't it? It's what you have invested in yourself that will pay you at the end of the day. Okay? So investing is knowledge. You can never regret it at the end of the day if you do. All right? Because according to if you look at the saying there, it said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Like I said, it's over time you will see the investment will start bringing what? Interest, generating interest for you. Now that you are learning the skill, you feel that, oh my God, this pain. Maybe in future, somebody can engage you to apply the same skill. I know of somebody that was recounting his experiences, that he studied computer engineering, but he was not really good at coding. He had to take that extra mile to learn it very well. Do you understand? At the end of the day, the company challenged him, gave him a contract on coding. He had to put all his energy, and it was that skill that he learned that time that helped him to succeed in that particular job. Do you understand? So he invested in himself while he was in school, and that paid off at the end of the day. So investment in knowledge pays interest over time. So it's very important. That's why I say start now to do what? Learn a skill or 2 or 3. Okay? Because you don't know which one is going to pay you that interest at the end of the day. So what are we saying? Keep learning. Okay? Knowledge increases your earning power. Use technology to learn daily. Of course, we are all Gen Zs, and we know how to use technology more than the millennia or so. People have categorized us now. But learn how to use these things, especially the AI to responsibly. Now, the reflection question, what new thing can I learn this month that will improve my future? You know, it was Socrates who said, an unexamined life is not worth living. So these critical questions are very important. These questions we are asking you now. If you sit down very well and answer these questions, you will see the transformation that will occur in your life at the end of the day. Okay? So try to really answer these questions and be intentional about it after this program, so that it will help you to really grow going forward. All right. I think at this point we are going to be taking questions and shared experiences with regard to this point. We'll give Professor Chike maybe a minute or 2. We don't have time, we have just 15 minutes. And then we'll now give you opportunity to come and say what you have written, just one, maybe from each American species. And that way we'll be able to meet the time and close. Thank you so very much for staying on. I appreciate it. So I'll give the floor to Professor Chike to just take a minute to share his experience with regard to some of this group. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good day, everyone.
Good day, sir.
I have so many experiences, so I don't know from whence to choose. I think one of the major problems most of you, and of course everyone has, is time management. Time management is very, very important. I will talk from my perspective, as I've been directed to do. I am somebody most people say works a lot, but I don't look it because I manage my time. Okay? Personally, I'm an insomniac. I don't sleep well. So instead of crying that I don't sleep well, I convert the time I'm supposed to be awake thinking about witches and wizards to reading. Since in the daytime I have other things mapped out to do, and at night I can't rest, I sliver off a piece of time for that night to change it into something that is going to work for me. Now, that is from a point of want, a point of a challenge, in quote. But what of most of you who are more basic, who don't have such challenges? How do you manage your time? Okay, are you somebody who stays in bed for an unnecessary length of time? First of all, the first thing you should do is to discipline your mind. Do you do exercises in the morning? It wakes you up. You know that, right? If you wake up and stretch yourself and tell yourself, before 8 a.m., I will be ready for the day. You're ready for the day. You tell yourself, I must read for 4 hours today, no matter what happens. Then what am I going to read? Is it to scroll through your phone? Have you told yourself something? The people you watch on phone actually spend sleepless nights to create that content, and you're there just consuming. You should be a little ashamed of yourself inwardly, not to tell somebody, I'm ashamed of myself. Just tell yourself, I'm ashamed of myself that I am only consuming and I'm not creating. How do you create from nothing? You have to read, use your time judiciously before you can create. That's the way it works. So if you loll on the bed with your legs on the wall, scrolling all the time, before you know what is happening, it's noon. And you yawn and go and make noodles. Before you know what is happening, it's 3 p.m. And a friend comes in for gist. Before you know what is happening, it's dinner time. 24 hours has gone. And Benjamin Franklin saying, once it's gone, it's gone. It never comes back again. So one thing you should keep at the back of your mind that will make you think more seriously about time management is that this particular context we are sitting in today will never repeat itself. Do you know that? You can have something that looks like it, worse than it, better than it, but this particular, as I'm talking now, will never happen again in this context. That should make you a little afraid to use your time better because you might not have that time again tomorrow. And if you manage your time well, you make the best of it and become more productive. I'm talking from experience.
Yeah, thank you, Professor, for that wonderful advice. You can see it is in line with what Franklin has told us. Time is what? Money. You just have to use it well so that you'll be able to achieve a lot. So we give Professor Ifeoma Odinye to give a word or two from our experience.
Okay, the essay written by Benjamin Franklin is one essay that teaches you to be responsible human. And there are two things you have to understand. One thing you have to understand about life is time. Time connects you to everything you become. So what I'm trying to say is this. He has talked about time, but I am going to give you a perspective that will make you to know who you are and to align yourselves with what or who you want to become. He said, live simply. Living simply has to do with you knowing how to spend your money. Because one basic thing that is very, glaring before us in terms of lifestyle is that many people don't want to live in a simple way, that cutting your coat according to your purse, not size again, because your purse tells you what you need and what you don't need. So that brings to our fore the issue of spending a lot. You don't have money, but you're spending. So how do you apply frugality in what you are doing? So the interest for me right now, I don't believe in trending clothes. I believe in what I have and what I think fits me. So how do I do it? What I do is that time is of essence. Whenever I have little time, I make little clothes for myself. So I don't go spending a lot. And I have my own brand. I don't look at what people wear. I look at what I have. So I save little money instead of buying so many clothes. I make my clothes and I buy clothes that fit me, not because of what is trending. So there are two things you have to use your time to create your wealth by making your own materials or learning any skill. And another one is cutting your code according to your purse. You must live simply, not because others are living or buying clothes. You must live according to what you think you have and according to what fits you. That is a mentality. Yeah, very important.
Thank you so much, Professor Odinye, for that input. Frugality. You don't waste unnecessarily. You don't follow the trend, because that is what young people do these days. Oh my God, iPhone 13 is out. I need to get it. You go and do all sorts to get iPhone 13. I mean, you don't need that. Have you asked yourself, do I really need this? Do you understand? If you need it, maybe you need it for business, for instance, to be doing social media or something, then that is reasonable. But just to take pictures and then to feel belong and all that is not a good reason. So what will help you to cut down expenses, like we have said that he has advised, is that you look at that expenses, that thing you want to buy, is it going to increase tomorrow? Is it going to give you interest tomorrow? If it's not, I mean, you leave that out. So let's give the floor to Dr. Ebekue.
Okay, thank you, Professor Martha. When I was called to be on this panel, one interesting thing to it was I saw the essay, the essay that's being discussed, A Way to Life, and I was impressed by the relevance and the relevance of an article written in 1758, even in 2025. It has remained relevant, and virtually all of those kinds of articles and books, because life still obeys the same laws. Especially, I look at it as a compendium, a collection of economic nuggets, because basically what this essay is saying, what do I do to become a successful person? How do I become successful, whether economically, materially, or an improved person? And then I'm a person who happened to read many of these kinds of economic books starting from George Clanson's Richest Man in Babylon, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. All of these go through, and they are all saying basically one thing, one law, and that law is JIGO, the simplest rule of computer, garbage in, garbage out. And as a human being, what you put into yourself is what you get out of it. There is no magic around it. In George Clanson's Richest Man in Babylon, he talks about the 7 cures to a lame purse. So if you want to escape lame purse, if you want to escape poverty, there are 7 cures. And it is basically the same thing that Benjamin is talking about. He talks about industry. He talks about frugality. He talks about prudence. He talks about taking responsibilities, ability to take responsibilities and know that the decisions you make for yourselves are the decisions that will rule your life. So it boils down to virtually everything being intentional about life, intentionality. So if you decide to waste your time, you know that the result for wasting time is what? Is what? Failure. So when you waste your time, when you don't invest your time in gainful endeavors, it is very obvious that at the time when other people will be reaping, you'll be crying. I will be looking at people with so much expectations. You become a beggar. Give me, give that. So basically what Benjamin has itemized and has prescribed, because these are prescriptions and they are recommendations for living a successful life. And it can't come at a better time than now, especially at this stage of life where all of us are, because this is when you make the decisions that eventually define who you become or who you become in the future. So now these decisions are what separates us, what makes us different from other people. There is an Igbo adage that says, that means now you're friends with a lot of persons now because by the virtue of the environment you found yourself. But eventually in the future, the people you become friends with will be determined by your economic status. Yeah, and this boils down to the decisions you make now, whether on prudence, whatever it is. There is an interesting part of it, and that also took me to interesting part of it that talked about borrowing. And for example, yeah, I agree. You don't have to borrow, but if you must borrow, you borrow for a good cause. Exactly. That's simple rule of economics. If you must borrow, you borrow for what? Production, not consumption. So if you're borrowing to increase, I borrow. I'm a businessman and I borrow on a daily. But then I see opportunities, I want to key into opportunities, and then I look for where I can get liquidity. And then the availability of liquidity, I already projected that if I'm able to obtain this liquidity, that I can get 100%, 200%, 300% within a given time. And if I get it and I return the liquidity from wherever I got it, and I now have mine. So this all boils down to decisions you make for yourselves and how you design it. If you decide today that you want to be an intentional person and design your life intentionally, you will get very intentional results. But if you live anyhow, you will get an anyhow result. It's as simple as that. Clancy says that yes, also success is sometimes determined by luck, but these lucks are lucks that you also farm by yourself. So it is luck only meets a person who is prepared. Exactly. If you're not prepared and luck comes, you don't see it. It is not luck to you because you're not qualified to assess it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your insights on this presentation or book discussion. Now we are going to go to the various American spaces. We have just 3 minutes to go so that we can take questions and action plan that you have written down. So we'll start from, if you have any question at this point, please drop it on the chat box or raise up your virtual hand. Okay, Enugu. Yes. Enugu window, unmute and ask your question. Thank you.
So, Prof, let me allow you to rest so that I can take it from there, because you are seeing the one to answer questions. So, Enugu, please, can you quickly ask your question?
Good morning. Good morning. I really appreciate this opportunity. So you mentioned that in to be more productive, you have to read all these books and invest more in yourself. But I understand that most times a lot of people, especially me too, most times you read all these books, but you don't know how to like apply it in your present situation to be more productive and achieve more. Yes, there's a lot of opportunity around you, but even a lot of us have read a lot of books, Robert Kiyosaki's books and read, but then how do you implement them to be able to achieve more in this in our context here? Thank you.
That's a good question. Please, can our resource persons please note those questions? Professor Mata, probably you are assigned who is going to answer the question. Say, please take note of this question from your hand,
Right.
so that we can take as many questions as possible. Uyo, please, can you unmute yourself quickly? Or do we still have anybody from Enugu?
Yes. Yes. All right.
Okay, let's take
morning,
Uyo. Good morning.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Hold on, let him speak.
Let's have Enugu. Let's finish with Enugu, then we'll go to Uyo.
All right. Good morning, sir, and good morning, ma. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My question is, you made mention about after your youth service, you made quite intelligent investments. You know, you invested in shares. You get so. My question is, as a student now, in university, are there any other platforms in which we can invest our money for future, profit gain? Thank you.
All right, let's quickly go to Uyo now. Uyo.
Thank you, sir, for this opportunity. Thank you for that presentation. We actually live with people who do not prioritize their time management. And actually, they tend to distract us, not especially when we want to be focused on our Okay, ma. We actually live with people who do not prioritize. Sometimes most of them do not prioritize their time management. That could be from the immediate family. That's the parents and the siblings and friends. So I want to know how you relate with people like that when they, most especially when they come to come with distraction to distract you when you want to focus. Yes, that was the second question.
Next person.
Sorry, sir, I didn't get that first question.
He said, how do you handle distractions from friends and relatives, especially when you want to manage your time and be focused on a particular thing?
Okay, so can I go now? All right. So my question is, I have two questions actually. First question is, if you're winning in many things, like you're working online, you're working offline, and you're getting results, and you have the potential to win offline more than you win online, should you stick to working offline, or should you still try to juggle? Like, if you're getting more returns from your offline, should you try to keep building the online version, or should you try to juggle both in such a way that you reach the levels of, and is it possible to do that? And then the second question is, when you get to a place and you want to try to support without seeming, how do you go through trying to support without seeming like you're trying to do too much? Because I was in a meeting once, and I tried to ask questions or give answers, and I was told people don't like a show off or something like that, and I don't know. Is it possible to give your best suggestion and your best support without seeming like you're showing off? Yes, thanks so much.
Finally, can we have quickly, please?
Prof, you mentioned that after your NYC that you invested your little fund in the stock market. Now there are students that have some money that maybe they would like also to invest in that, such that they don't want to use it unwisely. So can you explain the steps that such a student can take in investing in the Nigerian stock exchange?
All right, thank you very much. Finally, we have Ebekue. Please unmute yourself. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. There is no audio from your hand, sir. Ebekue. Martins? Can you quickly type that so that we can take it while our resource persons are attending to the questions? Yes, we can hear you now.
Good morning. So my question is, can you give a simple guide on how to invest in the right knowledge, since you have a lot of knowledge out there today?
All right, thank you very much. Over to you, Professor Egenti.
All right. Let me take the fourth question from your window, who says how to juggle offline and online tasks. There is this program that was held here on one of the programs on employability webinar, and it was on time management. All these questions, whether you want how to be productive or how to juggle online and offline tasks, still border on time management, how you manage your time. And the only way to do that is to have a schedule. You have a Google Calendar, you set reminders for maybe a particular task you want to be doing at a particular point in time. And then when it is time for that particular task, you put your phone on silent, that is maybe on silent, so that, somebody cannot call you. We have a lot of apps that can help you do that. We are going to drop that on the chat box. It will help you to really manage your time. If you know all those tasks, for instance, at this point in time, I want to be doing something offline, and then maybe go online at the end of the day to post it. Maybe you are a social content creator, and you want to spend some time creating the content, and then after that, you have a particular time when you are going to posting those content. So it still borders on how you organize your schedule for each day and what you'll be doing at each point in time. And then when you allocate this time to the various tasks, it will help you. You know that once it's this time, you are not giving it to another time. You are using it for a particular task. And once you are disciplined about it, you are going to achieve purpose. I don't know if you have addressed the question from your window. I'll give Professor Chike to add to how to be productive. I think he still touches on time management, but let me give him to say one.
Thank you for the question. And just an addition to what Professor Mata has said, there is something I want to chip in for, ways to be productive. You have to, first of all, have a priority list. What do I think is more important than the other? You should know. Of course, if you have a quiz to write or a sales to pitch or a proposal that will help you, I don't think you should be playing football. Priority list is commonsensical. Then, of course, you draw your scale of preference. You could have a meeting that will, open pathways in your business or your studies, and probably a meeting to gist with your mother to catch up with last weekend. They're both important, but one scales above the other. So this is being productive. So you give more time to what will help you better. It's reasonable. Everybody has what the person lays emphasis on. What will make you productive is, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to carve out this time to make it work. And of course, practice will let you know how much you can gain within a 24-hour cycle. Assuming you're a lecturer and you're marking scripts, how many scripts can you mark under 1 hour? At first, you might mark only 3, but with practice, you mark 4, 5, 6, then you get into the grind of it. It's the same thing with any other endeavor you decide to, focus on. So whatever you're doing, first of all, have a priority list, then draw a scale of preference from that priority list and allocate time to them. Allot time to everything you want to do. and minimize times that are given to pleasure, especially when you're working on a deadline. And of course, you have to give yourself your own personal deadlines. I myself, if my deadline is this month end, I'll give myself 3 days before the month end so that I'll still have enough time to, patch up where I think I will make mistakes or to fine tune what I have done. I think this is the answer. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prof, for that explanation. And in addition to that, or in addendum to that, let's Professor Odinye talk about how to minimize distractions, how to handle distractions.
Okay, basically, there are strategies you really need to have to actually curb, distractions. And I simply put it this way, that distraction is a thief of time and life, because time is all about the quality of life you want to create for yourself. So basically, first thing I say you have to do is to prioritize yourself. You have to know that you're very important and your life is very important. Then number two, you have to understand that you have to reflect and adjust. What do you want for yourself? You have to understand that, then you adjust. And another one, you begin to set clear goals about yourself. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? What kind of life do you want to live? These things are very important. And now you begin to create what I call a distinctive force about what you think. You need to back it out with actions. So those things are very important. And you begin to learn time management. How do I manage my time to incubate the future or the life I want to create for myself? Now you begin to talk about techniques to, adopt. Do you want to avoid friends? And then from that technique, you begin to think about how to limit these distractions. What are they? For in the contemporary times, you talk about digital spaces, taking our time. Instead of reading, you go to look at different musical stances and other things. So you begin to work on that, cut distractions. And you look at that, you begin to practice what we call practical mindfulness. There are things you have to do. It's a kind of emotion that you have to imbue to allow you cut distractions. So you need to be practical in your actions in terms of cutting. Then you begin to set boundaries. Are there things that you need to do that you want to achieve? If friends come, no, this time is for this. Set your boundaries, break boundaries that will help you. And again, you begin to take regular breaks are very important. If you're saturated in your time frame, take breaks from things that used to occupy you so you achieve what the goals you have already set up for yourself. And then it's all about staying organized. Your routine has to be strictly, adhered to. With this, you have already prioritized to take into a leap. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Odinye. I think setting boundaries is very important. It's very key if you want to avoid distraction. A lot of things will be distracting you. Let's say you want to work and with your phone, for instance, you have a lot of reminders keep popping up. Like the social media, once you are there, you sort of message on an email, you see a lot of things popping up. And once you click and it takes you away from that page, that is it. Before you come back, you have spent hours there before coming back. So when you're able to block all those pop distractions that come to your phone, that is another way to go about that. And then, like I said, having a schedule also can help you. Not taking too much at a time, one thing at a time, okay? And then, like she says, setting that boundaries, it will help you to really focus on one thing and get it done. Thank you so much. And then with regard to investments, Dr. Ebekue is a lecturer and is also into different businesses. So he will have one or two things to say with regard to other areas young people like you can invest your money aside on shares. So Ebekue, just a word on this.
Okay. It's difficult giving advice, financial advice to young persons because sometimes the way we think varies so much from the way your perspectives to life. Your perspectives to life at the moment, but investment. Somebody, yeah, there's been a lot of anchorage on Professor Mata's example of ourselves with buying shares. Yeah, shares could maybe in the last 20, 25, 15 years may have been very gainful endeavors to go into, but I don't know if shares in Nigeria, the stock exchange in Nigeria, and share buying now is still a very lucrative business at the moment. For young persons, I will advise that the best investment any person can make as of now is investment in the self. Get a skill, an infotech skill, any skill, IT skill, any kind of skill, blockchain skill, developer skill, project management skill, any kind of skill at all that you can leverage on to get remote jobs. For me, that's the best kind of investment anybody can make. But if these are not financial advice I'm giving anyway, but then I also think that young people must begin to key into trends. At the moment, yeah, crypto is very well frowned upon in Nigeria, but crypto has liberated a lot of persons in the country, a lot of young persons. And I've also had my own share of experience in crypto. But any business, many of us are usually interested in business that give us passive income. And that's why a lot of people fall victim to Ponzi schemes. Now, for any business anybody wants to invest in, the very first advice I give is make sure you get an in-depth knowledge of whatever you want to invest in, so that you don't rely on people's advice or advisories to invest. Sometimes it can be quite disastrous. But if you're well knowledgeable in whatever you want to invest in, I don't think anybody who invests knowingly and with deep knowledge of whatever he wants to invest comes out crying. Business is a very knowledgeable venture, and young people who want to get into it must also spend the time to learn it and learn how to climb the ladder. And that's why a lot of Igbo persons who didn't go to school, who went through the boy system, are very successful people in life. The reason is that the boy does not give them the share capital to invest in the businesses, but it gives them the knowledge capital to invest. And so they already knows they already know the secret. They already know how you can 21 ways of doing it and not succeeding, and 100 ways of doing it and succeeding. And then also the personnel connection they need to get to either bring in their goods or to also sell it. So for me, if somebody is seeking my advice on what to invest in, what works for me may not work for another person, because the things I know today, I really didn't get it sitting down from any person. I got it trying and trying and trying. I failed too many times. And then the things that are today working for me, maybe if I speak to somebody about the things that are working for me and the person is courageous enough to also go into it, the person will succeed. But then there is nothing that helps a person succeed as much as trying severally, even though you try and fail. The courage, the ability to stand up and try again also now makes you see the slippery slopes and know how to avoid the slippery slopes. So I will advise the young persons here. The blockchain is a very lucrative place for anybody who is young today to learn and understand the ropes and know where to put in money, where not to put in money, and most importantly, learn the skills. So for you, I will tell you that the biggest investment, I will tell you, whatever money you have today, go and pay money, learn one or two skills. And if you learn one or two skills and you're able to land remote jobs for yourselves, I don't think you'll be having whatever money you make in hard currencies or in crypto tokens will help you. Even though you invest and fail, you will keep investing and learning where to invest better. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, my distinguished professors and doctor, for these wonderful insights you have put into these questions, in answering these questions. I think one key thing he mentioned as a way of summary is what still Franklin is talking about. Invest in knowledge. And what that means is what? Investing in yourself, because education is beyond school. right? And I've mentioned earlier in my presentation that you have a lot of free online courses, okay? But you know, the free online sometimes stops at a point, do you understand, does not qualify you to be able to get maybe that job or get maybe, do you understand? So you need to pay a little token. Instead of keeping that money to be whiling away, you can use it to invest in yourself, and that investment will now yield the interest in the long run. So invest in learning that skill, putting that effort to do what? Learn some courses online, okay, that you are very much interested in, is what will now generate interest in the long run. Okay, I think that is the greatest investment as a young person now. Do you understand? Remember, I said I have already what? It was after my NYSC that I had that surplus to do what? To go into shares when it was lucrative that time. Okay? So the best investment for you now is to do what? Go and learn that skill. You have a lot of free online skills, courses, sorry, that you can take. Okay? And then it will give you have a lot of creative designers that earn as much as you have virtual assistants also. But you need certification to present certification for you to apply. Do you understand? For such job. For instance, you are doing freelancing, you need something to a certificate to tell them, yes, I have this skill and I've taken this course. You understand? You need evidence. So if you are interested in all those things that you know you can be getting money in the long run, then you need to invest in yourself. Go and learn that particular skill that you are very interested in. It will pay at the end of the day. I don't know if I've addressed all the questions. There are any other then. So I don't know if in the chat box we've overshot our time by 20 minutes.
The question on the chat box this is from Ebekue. I think tricks and tips. What tricks and tips do you have on becoming consistent in anything you are trying to improve upon or do? And then let me check again. Somebody was asking about the book. The book is available on eLibraryUSA, and the link to the book is also provided. If you don't have eLibraryUSA account, ask from your director. Please explain clearly the phrase consistent beats talent. That's from Adeni Hamo. And then the final one is from Ogun Tech Hub. Can you please quickly ask your question, then we'll wrap it up. Please also check your chat box. We have a feedback form. We'd like you all to please fill immediately. So while this is going on, please let's fill that form. Yes, Ogun Tech Hub, go ahead with your question.
Good morning. My name is Pamela, and on the aspect of learning skills and remote jobs, after learning the skills and going for the jobs, there are issues accompanied with it. We are to get experience, and in order to get the experience, sometimes once they figure out you're Nigerian, the experiences or those offering the experiences will tell you that no, you are no longer needed for the job. So how can we overcome that? The stereotype on the Nigerian name.
Thank you very much. So, Professor Mata.
I will take the question tech before I take the other ones on consistency. We've had a program here on volunteerism. You know, as young people, it's expected that we don't have experience, but the only way you can gain that experience is to volunteer. Volunteer, write to companies, tell them you want to volunteer, especially the area of interest that you are interested in. Okay, in your area of interest. Once you volunteer, that volunteering will help you to what? Gain experience. And you can add that to your what? To your CV. Do you understand me? And in some companies, after volunteering, they even give you the job if you are doing very well. Guys, if you have really performed very well during the time of your volunteering. So I think the best way to really have that experience You look at that area that you are interested in, look at companies that have that mandate, and then volunteer. Write to them, tell them you want to volunteer. Okay, even if you are not being paid, just volunteer. Of course, when you are volunteering, it's all about selflessness. You are hunger for knowledge, you want to learn. Okay, in that process of learning, you have what? Gain what? Experience. And that can serve as your experience when you are applying for job in relation to that. Then with regard to consistency, how to really be consistent. Well, it's all about being intentional. We've all mentioned it in our various presentation. Being intentional, you just have to be intentional about your life and then what you'll be doing at each point in time. You have a target for yourself and then you focus on it each day. I want to give 2 hours or 3 hours to this. And nothing, you don't allow anything to distract you from getting that achieved. Do you understand? That is consistency. When you're able to do it the first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, and you've done it for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I mean, you find out that you become used to it. And if anything that is trying to, to affect that, and you push it aside. Do you understand? Maintaining strictly your schedule. Once you do that, it will help you to really build that consistency. And then the another question that relates to that is consistency beating talent. Yes, you have someone that naturally is talented. Maybe you know how to sing very well. Do you understand? You know how to sing very well. It's good. It's a natural talent from God. But you can hone that skill to be better. Do you understand? And then someone that is not really good, and then the person is consistent. Every day you put some hours to singing. Are you following me? You get experts to train you. You find out that by the time the person do that for like 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, I mean, the person will be a different person. Do you understand? It will be a different person. That person can even perform better than the other person that has raw talent. Do you understand me? So that is what they mean by consistency beating talent. So you cannot overemphasize the place of practice. Consistency has to do with practice. Being intentional, putting the effort, the time every day. Do you understand? I gave you an example of somebody that every day should be training on the particular skill. And today she's been invited by companies or industries to come and perform. Do you understand? It's consistency. So you have to be consistent, do it every day, and then before you know it, you will know when you start, you become an expert. So thank you so very much for your active participation. I don't know whether at this point we'll be able to take one action plan for maybe 2 or 3 windows from the participants so that let's know what they have written down and then we wrap up for the day. But before we do that, we have a lot of e-books like this. This book is from the eLibraryUSA. And a lot of people have signed up to the e-library. We have a lot of e-books, inspirational books that you cannot get from the bookstores. So when you go there, you can borrow book using your card. I have a card there. And to sign up is just very simple. Once you register, I will show that to you at the end of this class. And once it is approved, you'll be able to use it anywhere you are in the world. So, okay, so let's take 1 or 2 action plan, then we wrap up. So, let's take from Oka, Uyo and Enugu. I hope you are not raising your hand because you have spoken, so we'll take from other windows. So let's take from Oka window, and then maybe from Oshobo. So one person, come and tell us your action plan. Okay? Yeah, let's go ahead.
The entire
Go ahead. No, just one. Just one. Go ahead. Just speak louder.
The consistent little stroke spell glitter. My reflection question. The reflection question was, what positive habit do I want to do daily? So mine is starting my day. Prayer. Pray every day. Immediately I wake up, I pray, like silent prayer before the family prayer. I thank God for keeping me alive. That's the positive habit I want to do daily. Then the action plan, I'm also learning how to sew. So my action plan, I'll commit to doing this. Starting my daily prayer and sewing at least one foot every day.
Wow, that's great. That's great. I hope you heard that. She said she wants to be starting her day with prayers, which she has not been doing. And then in terms of consistency with regard to the skill building, she's learning how to sew clothes, and she's resolving that she wants to be at least sew one cloth a day since she's still beginning, so she can sew one cloth a day. So can we have any other resolution from other windows? Otherwise, we wrap up. Oshobo, let's see what you have written down. Okay, let's go to Enugu. If Oshobo is not ready, Enugu, unmute and tell us what you have written down. You have the mic.
Okay. What I plan doing is investing in knowledge, because they say that knowledge is power, and I have to be open to any knowledge. Like now, I'm a student of medical lab, and this program now is not about my course of study, but I'm open to learn because it educates me more and improves me. So I should be open, and I advise other people to be open to anything that will impart knowledge in them.
Thank you. Thank you for that contribution from Enugu. Investing in knowledge is very important because that is the only way you can grow. Once you learn new things every day, you find out that your growth, you're going to improve in a lot of things. So thank you very much. I don't know if we should still take another questions. I think we can stop here.
We have to stop now. Thank you very much, Professor Mata. Can we put our hands together for Professor Mata, Professor Chike, Professor Odinye, and Dr. Ebekue? Let's put our hands together for the four of them. Sincerely, when this program was conceived, we didn't even imagine the kind of impact it's going to have. And sincerely, we want to thank you, especially the Oka Window on America, Professor Ike and Professor Mata, for organizing this from your hand. You can see even the number of people who are here, and I'm so much excited. But most of all is the points that all of the points were well made, but Dr. Ebekue said something which struck me. This was a book that was published in 1758, and yet the book is still relevant today. That's about 267 or 68 years ago, and it's still relevant. So what that tells me is that what we are looking for are actually in books. And that's why I agree with you. The issue of knowledge, we should invest in it. We should find time to put in knowledge, right knowledge into us. I wish these young folks that have listened to you will get this point and cut out all these distractions and focus their time on gaining knowledge, because that's the key to the future. So I really want to appreciate you and the team over there. Please, let's put our hands together for them again. And this is going to be a monthly thing. And we have started. And the theme, overarching theme, is stories that connect us. Stories that connect us. And these stories are found in books. They are found in eLibraryUSA. If you don't have access, you have directors in all your locations. Please speak to them. They will be able to give you the hint on how to get it. And so we want to thank you, everyone, for coming. By 1:30 today, we are actually concluding our training program, which we started about 8 weeks ago, on reinventing yourself, right mindset, tools in a digital economy. And today we're going to be talking about lifelong learning and reinventing strategy. We have invited somebody who is going to lead that session. And I'm telling you, if you have friends, call them to be part of this session. Their lives will never remain the same. And so we want to thank you, and we hope to see you at 1:30. Please, let's log in on time so that we can finish on time. I will say bye-bye to you till then. Bye, everyone.